How can I maximise my YouTube views?
Well, no.
Don't have a cat in it.
Don't have a cat, no. Well, cleavage always goes down well. That's, believe it or not, it's the most clicked thing on the internet.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but maximise your views. It takes time, right? It's not going to happen overnight, and I think the biggest problem is a lot of people get disheartened. So they might start a channel, and they think, I've put my first video up. Oh, not a lot's happened. I've got a handful of views. The best bit of advice you can give in terms of generating views and getting people to watch your content is to know your audience. So knowing and not being too broad. Don't try and be everything to everybody. You need to be, when somebody lands on your content, it needs to be, this is the ideal piece of content that I wanted to find, right? The others will come, right? The other people that are, maybe the people that are watching this are a bit nerdy, they might be, or into marketing, but other people will come off the back of the views. So you need to get traction. It's like rolling up a snowball. It's, the catch-22 is you need views to get views. But that said, you don't actually need any content on your YouTube channel to get some views. You need one video, right? One video, but if you promote it with ads, you'll get traction. The key is to make sure that you're promoting it into the right audience, because you don't want people bouncing. You need engagement. Once you get engagement and you've done a bit of YouTube SEO on the video, you will start to rank. You will start to come up in suggestions. You will appear on the right-hand side in discovery, and then that's when, once you start seeing yourself popping up on that right-hand side and people are clicking it, and if you go into your YouTube studio, you can see within the analytics tabs where people are finding you. Right. So you might see paid, but if you can start see suggested and organic and all these sort of things coming up, you'll start seeing. But a good way to do it is obviously make sure you share that video across all your different social platforms. So that'll start getting you views, start getting you traction, engagement, all the good stuff.
I think the thing there for me is actually understanding your audience, because as long as I can remember being involved for a very long time in this industry, understanding your customers is probably one of the most difficult things, because trying to create something that engages with them, whether it was an old-fashioned press ad, a bus side, or a YouTube ad, it's the same challenge. Is what thing's going to grab their attention, and what grabs one set of people is different to another. So I think you're right, understanding your audience is massive, and I think we find as a YouTube buying agency partner, the targeting is everything, really.
And we often find that you have to, so you can spin up different fronts to different videos to make sure you get the hook right. There's no one size fits all, and that is always the temptation, where someone comes and said they want to make one video and it fits this broad audience. You'd be far better off making 4 or 5 videos that have got probably a different front to each one, with a majority of the video is similar or the same. But making sure that they fit the audiences. One improves the audience retention, and it's engagement. Engagement is everything, right?
How do you rank keywords on YouTube?
So ranking keywords on YouTube is very much like old school SEO. It's still in its infancy to an extent, and it is about keyword density, making sure you've got things in your titles. So the title of the video, you might put the keyword a couple of times, and then within the body of the description, and this is what we see all the time with people on their YouTube channels, put a video up and they may well have a pre-populated template that they use for their uploads, because it's probably got the link to the website, some of their social links, a description about their business. And a lot of the time you see people putting that as a standard, probably 70-80% of what they put up goes up every time. And they're also lazy. So, no, but we all are, right? And you will see, I think you've got a 5,000 character limit on the description when you put it onto YouTube. How often do you see it used? Very, very, very rarely, right? So if you treat that description section almost like a blog, and you are talking about the topic and what you want to rank for. And I think earlier we talked about finding keywords around a subject. So don't just, if I was trying to rank for, we've used the example best barbecue, I wouldn't put best barbecue in the title and 5 mentions of best barbecue within a 2,000 character blog. What you might talk about are the best gas barbecues and the best barbecue when you're on a budget, and barbecues that are best for. So what you'll see there is, instead of just best barbecue, I've switched the words around, like the best barbecue, or finding a barbecue that is best for smoking fish, all of that, right? So you start to spread within natural language. You've got to use the terms, but without like using keyword stuffing or spamming into. It's just so tempting for people to go best barbecue, like 10
which
best
I've seen people do
and
before.
It just, obviously the algorithm can pick that up and go, you're out of it, it's not happening. But just make it natural, really.
Yeah, good advice. How many tags should I use on YouTube?
More than you might think. So when we've now talked about the terminology and the words that are going around the topic, all the different key phrases, I'd probably try and use most of those. The thing you want to do is obviously remember what your golden term is, what you're trying to rank for. Try and put that in at the start of your tags, and then other tags that talk around that subject. So in the best barbecue example,
you'd use some of those.
Best barbecue, the best barbecue under £100,
best barbecue for smoking, so on and so forth.
So, but just search, and again, use Google Ads keyword planner to find what people are searching. The other way to do that is go on to normal Google, type in best barbecue, and then if you scroll down, you'll see a section that says people also ask, which are all the questions. That's a really good place to go. Start clicking there, you'll see all the questions that are coming up. Read the other articles and
see what they've talked about.
Just go in and read people's, don't copy and paste, but I know that goes on, but don't copy and paste. Bring chunks of it out onto a Google Doc or a spreadsheet, and then you can just feel how it, you've got to talk to the consumer. We're not just copying and pasting text in for the sake of it. But
that's where a lot of copy, I think, has gone wrong online, because it does feel really lazy. It's not, it doesn't feel like it's telling a story or engaging. It just feels like a robot's written it.
Well, you say that, we've just gone through a phase, and it is still happening to an extent. There's a lot of channels out there that use robot voices. So one thing with YouTube particularly, Google is reading the thumbnails and the subtitles. So the subtitles file that is created when you upload your video and transcribed, check that is written correctly, because often it can get words wrong, and you don't want it to get one of your keywords wrong. But the keywords that are in those subtitles are getting picked up. But more than that, this is where a lot of those videos with robots, people are copying and pasting chunks of text into a slideshow as a video, right? And then the robot is reading it out. So Google's picking up the text and getting the subtitle file, and that's ranking. So thankfully we're moving past that, but it's sort of showing people that if you use your keywords correctly and you put the subtitles in, Google will reward you for that.
But going back to doing content that's emotionally engaging, that's relevant to the audience, if people are not sticking on that video and the retention rates are not good, they're a bit knackered anyway, aren't they? So it goes back to doing it properly. Do it properly, okay. Next question, does ranking on YouTube help with ranking on Google? We know the answer to this one, because we've just done it recently lots.
Well, it doesn't unless you know what to do, right? So yes, you can rank a video on YouTube really quickly within 24, 48 hours.
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing. And probably, it's not as hard as you might think, but getting it to stick is what we're saying, right? If you're answering people's questions, videos start to pop up in the Q&A section, but that tends to be for what you would call authority sites.
Yeah.
So if you've got a site that, and we've talked about dogs, we could use the dog grooming example. If you're if you do come up for those terms naturally in search, it's a hell of a lot easier to get a video and get it to come to the top of search because Google knows that you're already a trusted website. What you need to do is use the keyword tool again. Use a tool I use a tool called Agency Analytics to see where we rank for particular terms anyway. And you've just got to build up a picture, but linking like social, right? This will be like so many social or SEO agencies will disagree with what I'm about to say. Because I've had arguments with loads of them about it, but
really,
yeah, right. So a lot of SEO agencies 3 or 4 years ago would say, well, social media and social doesn't contribute to your SEO ranking, mainly because the SEO agencies don't do social media as a rule, right? And they don't want to see their clients shifting budget over to social because it's supporting their SEO ranking, but social is your friend, right? If you can get a video onto social or get a piece of content onto social and get it engaged with and get people watching, and we keep coming back to it, get them watching, engaging, making sure the audience is right, you're getting good signals, even within the videos, if you time code them. So if you section the video up and you put time codes in that, maybe at 2 minutes 30, this particular question is answered, and at 5 minutes they're talking about this subject. All of those words are enabling someone to then go, that's the bit of the video I want to watch, so I'll click on that piece.
Yeah.
And that's another signal to Google to say, well, Simon was interested in that, not the rest of it, not the rest of that particular piece.
Yeah.
And then, so eventually we'll get to, when I'm on Google, I get served similar things because Google is profiling me all the time. Like my missus was in the car with her sister this week, and her sister was talking about French paint, and the next day Cheryl starts getting adverts in Facebook for French paint, and she's never talked about it in her whole life. Yeah. So they are absolutely listening to what's within the videos, reading the subtitles, looking where people click, and also looking where people leave. So all of those signals go into it.
Yeah. Final question here. How do you rank up faster on YouTube?
Engagement, views.
Which sometimes takes investment as well.
Right, so look, obviously it's easy to get views. If you've got a channel with a million plus subscribers, you can pretty much stick a video up and you'll get views. It doesn't mean you'll get the engagement. Mm-hmm. So to rank quickly, you need some engagement, you need likes, comments, shares, you need people sticking and watching. And a lot of that can be to do with the length of the video. So a lot of what some clients come to us and talk about is how long does an ad need to be? How long is the piece of content that I want to put out there? And we might say, well, as it stands, the best sort of length for an advert is about 2 to 3 minutes at the moment. Last year, it was a bit longer than that. Mm-hmm. But we don't want to spoil a channel's engagement rate by putting an ad out and people not stick, because obviously when it's an ad, people are clicking skip, and that's not giving a great signal. So before you can distill down your audiences, you might put a video onto your channel as unlisted, and only show ad views to it, and then it's not affecting your channel engagement rate. But once you get it down and right, then your engagement will be good and it'll rank. So there's a combination of, I would say, if you're a new channel, you need to probably pay for ads to get the content going, give it a kick up the arse, get it going, and get the audience right, and then your subs will grow. You can run it into placements is a good way to do it as well. So when we run, if we take the dog grooming example, if we had a dog groomer in a particular area, we might run that ad into obviously videos about dogs, because a pattern interrupt is the person your potential customer is watching a video about dogs. up pops a dog groomer. I know that's really obvious, but you know, we do see ads being run into, well, people are using a spray and pray approach at the moment. You know, they'll just go, well, if someone skips it, we don't pay anyway, so we'll just run it to women who are 30 to 40 who've got a dog. Okay-ish. But if there's the difference between intent and engagement, and once somebody's already watching something on a topic, they're 100 times more likely to continue watching that. Whereas
So
if that woman was watching a cooking show and the dog thing comes on, they're probably more likely to skip.
But actually, that person could be interested in dogs. It's at the right time as well.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
right
Doing
time.
things,